With Steam Next Fest just finishing, I am sure many of us have been dabbling in the world of demos, and I have too. As a child, I spent probably more time playing Amiga magazine demo discs than I ever did playing full games, so rooting around Steam demos is a profoundly nostalgic pastime. Plus it scratches that itch of getting to try new things without laying out actual money to do so. So after playing too many demos to mention, I have chosen 5 to talk about, plus a few honourable mentions. Because for one reason or another they grabbed my attention. Sometimes it was the theme or presentation that made me want to add them to the wishlist, and others it was just that I found myself playing them for hours and keep going back to them numerous times once I'd finished. But before I start though, I'll just quickly mention the thorny issue of AI. All these games I have selected and played do not, as far as I can tell from the lack of a disclosure on the Steam page, use AI in any way. And I want to get into the debate around what is and is not an ethical or acceptable use of the technology. I do understand that it is not merely a black and white issue, but I want to celebrate human creativity, and whilst I am sure that you could probably make a good game with AI assistance, it has become blindingly obvious that from the sheer amount of generic slop on Steam, it is adding to an already pretty big problem in the industry, which only aids the ability to flood Steam and other platforms with even more low-effort crap than there already was. So I personally will only choose to highlight games that do not use it, to the best of my ability of course, but I won't judge anyone who wants to play games that do use it or necessarily deride the developers who do either. So with that out of the way, let's crack on. The Transylvania adventure of Simon Quest immediately pulled me in with its old school retro aesthetic. I've not long finished Mina the Hollower, so I am big in that new retro 8-bit headspace, and immediately this game starts with an amazingly authentic cutscene of old. But the thing that made me chuckle to myself was the story being presented. Simon Quest, a disgraced vampire hunter, spent too long preparing to go fight an evil vampire who had been terrorising Romania, and during this time another vampire hunter who looked suspiciously like Christopher Belmont finds and kills the vampire. They then scatter his remains across the land to stop him from rising again, and Simon, who seems to be painted as a bit of a dumbass, decides to go find all the bits and put him back together just so he can fight him and kill him again. The game itself is a pretty faithful recreation of a Castlevania game and is essentially a parody of that. It controlled well and has enough in the demo to get a feel for what it is, and the finished game looks like it will have a lot more little mini games and extras, as well as delivering it all with a sense of humour. After playing the demo, I am looking forward to this, even though, as I have stated in the past, I'm not usually a Metroidvania fanboy. This time mostly on the strength of the idiot plot of resurrecting the vampire just to kill it again yourself. Warworld Strategy is a game I am pretty hyped for, mostly based on my recent discovery of the other Warworld games, but it is far from perfect. However, it is still in development and it looks like the demo is getting updates, so I'm expecting it to improve as time goes by before it is eventually released. As with Alawar's other games, it is presented incredibly well, but this time in 3D rather than 2D pixel art. Many have likened it to something like Frostpunk, which some claiming it to be a shameless rip-off of, but unlike Frostpunk, which is a game I just didn't really get along with, there is the tower defense element which is more appealing to me. Add to that, it is set in a world that I already have an interest in. You have to build out your city that clings to the giant wall, building housing, processing plants, assigning workers, and all of that usual colony sim type stuff, as well as get your defences in order for the next wave of alien monsters. It was pretty slow going at first because obviously you are running through a tutorial and there are plenty of elements you are going to have to learn, but I had a lot of fun, and this is definitely the game on the list that I am putting a bit of faith in that it will be more polished when it's released. Slime Soup is a colour matching roguelike game which I was unsure about when I downloaded it, but the premise and the goofy screenshots made me take a punt. I thought it was going to be pretty light on features and maybe just a short fun curiosity, but the reason it made it on the list is that I found myself playing it for a long time after I finished recording footage. You are a chef and you are cooking slime for goblins and other demented creatures, and you do that by matching the coloured slimes in your cauldron. The more you match, the bigger the slime gets and the higher your score is, and that score is what is used to fill the hunger meter of your goblin patrons. Your losing criteria is if you receive too many bad reviews from your customers, which ends a run. As with all good roguelikes, in between rounds you get a number of different modifying items to collect that will boost your score. I was surprised at how much more depth there was in this game, which I was expecting to just be a silly little game. In the full game, it looks like you will be able to use different cauldrons, which will change the way you play and up the difficulty challenge. I like the presentation and the art style, and overall this is just a lot of good casual fun. A couple of honourable mentions would be Hole Rupture, a game a little like War World Strategy but way more silly, but still including elements of an incremental colony sim with wave-based tower defence. It is fun enough, and I think more than anything I just love the art style and the animation, but there is more than enough to keep this on my wish list. And the second honourable mention would be Void Hue, which is a little puzzler where you move around using the ability to colour blocks and push them around to get through the various obstacles and make it to the end of the level. Worth a little look. The last game on this list is Drill Deep, which mixes multiple genres I like with a satisfying loop. Part incremental game, part roguelike, part digging, all dopamine. You use your mouse to mine down into the earth with your pickaxe and collect different ores. As you get more ore, you can upgrade your equipment. Each run you have a set amount of time which can be increased either by upgrading with ore or mining hearts found on your run. As you do a run, you will pick up mining upgrades, and the pacing of the progression is very satisfying. You start getting quality of life upgrades the further you go, like auto-clicking and auto-mining drills that will drop down and carve out a central column for you to work around. And as you gain more power levels, you will be able to dig through more and more different types of sediment, allowing you to go deeper and deeper. Devilishly simple, very Moorish, and perfectly engineered for that just one more go vibe. And as I said in my last video, I don't know what it is about clicking on a block and seeing it disappear, but this just pings something inside your brain. I know once this is released, I'm going to be sinking a lot of time into it. So there you have it, 5 games that I'm looking forward to, and I believe from the last time I checked, all the demos are still available to play, so why not check them out for yourself. This might give you a bit of an idea of the types of games I like, so if anyone has any more suggestions of anything else to try, stick them in the comments below. Stay positive, and I'll see you later.